Oh, hi, hello. This is Let's Talk About Myths, baby. And I'm here with a mini myth. It's been a while, mostly because I've had too much to say about all our recent subjects. But today I just wanted to go beyond the Aeneid and try to dig into what else we know about the Queen of Carthage. And I'm preparing my live episode for Fan Expo next week. Please come. So this weekend is extra jam-packed with mythological wanderings on my part. Meaning a mini myth is really what I need right now. And who doesn't want to know more about the woman who founded a whole city/civilization? Mini myth. Who let a woman found a city? Dido beyond the Aeneid. Last week I told you about the history of Dido that is told in the Aeneid by Venus to Aeneas. But that is not all we know, it's just what Virgil wanted us to know. You might find today's episode differs slightly from what I told you last week. Again, that's because last week I was going off of the Aeneid, and now we're going beyond, to other historical and mythological references to the queen. Dido, like Aeneas, is the mythological founder of Carthage, though we have no real proof that she existed. Certainly, though, the Carthaginians believed she did. And they believed she had quite the history, quite the origin story for how she finally arrived on the land that they named Carthage. Dido has another name, though. Her original name in Phoenicia was Alyssa, and the name Alyssa in Semitic languages suggests that she might have been associated with the gods, perhaps even a goddess herself. The name Dido was given to her by the Libyans later. It means wanderer. Like Aeneas when he founded what would become Rome, Dido and the people she brought with her to found Carthage were refugees. This is the case in so many stories, refugees being forced to flee their countries, going on to do great things, found great new civilizations. It's too bad that people like to forget that now. Dido's life begins in Tyre, the island port city of the Phoenicians, where Cadmus, the Greek hero who brought the Greeks the concept of an alphabet and who founded the Greek city of Thebes with the goddess Harmonia, was also from. He's my favorite. I will bring him up whenever possible. It's quite the mythological birthplace, but itself was a very real city in the ancient world, a major trading port with the Greeks and others in the Mediterranean. In Tyre, Dido is a princess whose ancestors have long ruled the city. Her father, the king, was named Belus, and he announces that it isn't Dido's younger brother, Pygmalion, who will rule Tyre after he's gone, but Dido, a woman alongside Pygmalion. Belus decides that his children will rule jointly. But this does not sit well with Pygmalion, who seems to take the first syllable of his name as a serious personality trait. Pygmalion is infuriated, far angrier than he rightly should be. They are siblings after all, and Dido is older, but she's a woman, so he's not having it. In time, Dido marries a very rich man, Sichaeus, who's also a priest. Because of this, he is powerful, so wealthy, and that power brings out a hatred within Pygmalion, a man already prone to shitty behavior. In fear of the power his sister would have while sharing the throne and married to this man, Pygmalion has Dido's husband, Sichaeus, killed. Once Pygmalion has had her husband killed, everything changes for Dido. She's smart. She knows that once Pygmalion has done this, it's only a matter of time before he has her killed too. She begins to plan how she'll escape from Tyre, and finding and coordinating with the others in the city who are no fans of Pygmalion. Dido has to be smart about this. She can't just jump on a ship and set sail. They need supplies, they need gold. So Dido sends a letter to her brother telling him that her husband's death has affected her so much that she doesn't want to live in their house anymore, that she can't bear it. She tells Pygmalion that she wants to return to their family home where he lives now. She adds, to sweeten the deal for her brother, that she'll bring her husband's wealth with her when she returns. Pygmalion is sold. Preparations begin. In order to reach her family home, Dido must fill a ship with her belongings and, notably, her husband's gold. Pygmalion helps. He just wants the gold, so he's more than happy to lend some of his servants to help Dido bring her things to his home. Once Dido and her ship filled with everything she needs is out to sea and in full view of Pygmalion awaiting her return, she sets her plan into action. Dido has the servants throw overboard bags of sand that had been on the ship to weight it. They splash loudly, catching Pygmalion's attention. She knows he can hear her from the shore, and so with his rapt attention, she calls out to the skies above, calling out to her husband, praying to his memory, asking loudly that he accept these offerings of his very own wealth, that thing that caused his death. From where he stands on land, Pygmalion believes that Dido has just thrown overboard the wealth of Sichaeus, helped by the very servants he had sent from his own home. It's over for the servants. They know that even though they'd done no such thing, they'd never be able to return to Pygmalion, and so Dido gains even more followers and future residents of her new city. So, with Pygmalion furious and fuming from shore, but prevented from sending his own fleet to kill Dido by their own mother, Dido sails on. Their mother stopped him by telling him an omen heard by a priest, that he mustn't interfere with Dido. If he did, he would be punished worse than any other. It's his sister's destiny to found the richest city in the world. Once they've escaped Tyre, Dido and her fellow refugees first land on the island of Cyprus. There they meet a priest of Astarte, another name for Ishtar, who you'll remember from the series on Gilgamesh. But in this case, she's ostensibly the goddess Venus. Another version names him as a priest of Jupiter, but also references Astarte later. Regardless, Dido convinces this priest to come with them on their journey, that in the new city that they found, he could be the high priest. He's more than happy to, and also tells them that it just so happens that the Cypriots have a festival of the goddess taking place. It seems during this festival, the unmarried women have a special job to do. They're encouraged to moonlight as sex workers to make as much money as they can, which would then go into their dowries for their future husbands and would ensure a happy, faithful marriage. I kind of love this. They're just making some extra money, and there's nothing shameful about it. It's practical even, and means to result in a happier life later on. Way to go, Astarte ladies. In any event, these women are noticed by some of the men traveling with Dido, and they find themselves happily marrying off and bringing with them new wives, all of them carrying on their way to found this new city. With this idea comes a melding of societies too, mixing of cultures, resulting in their new civilization, a melding of everything. Carthage represents so much that was later thought of as bad or wrong, that they were bad people as a result. But truly, they were refugees seeking a better life and forming new blended families along the way. And so the ship continues on, sailing the Mediterranean, keeping to the coast of North Africa, waiting on the perfect piece of land to found a new home. Finally, they reach it, what will become Carthage, the perfect position of land for a powerful, wealthy city. When Dido and her fellow refugees reach shore, they meet with local people who'd been watching them. These people are welcoming, looking to barter with the new people that have landed nearby. They bring their king, Iarbas, who speaks with Dido. Of course, he's taken with her. She's beautiful and she's ruling over these people, guiding this ship. So when Dido asks Iarbas for a piece of land, just a little piece of land where her and her people could rest for a while, he asks, how much land? She tells him she only wants enough to stretch an ox hide over. Iarbas laughs. Of course she can have that. It's almost nothing. Dido, though, is cunning as fuck. She instructs her people to cut the oxhide into the narrowest strips possible, like pieces of thread, and together they stretch the strips around the beach where they arrived and even the nearby hill that becomes known as Oxhide Hill, named for the brilliant, sneaky way that Dido obtains all the land they could need. Iarbas, meanwhile, is entertained. He recognizes she outplayed him, and he isn't mad. A man confident in himself. It's shocking, really, given the typical stories we tell. He's outplayed by a woman, and he concedes, just happy to have new people to trade with. Historically, Carthage isn't the first Phoenician colony. They'd established quite a few along the Mediterranean coast, but it becomes by far the most powerful and important, for a time eclipsing even Phoenicia itself. Carthage was one of the most powerful forces in the region, both because of its strategic location and the skills of its people. It's known for its warfare, its ability to beat Rome. Carthage fought Rome endlessly. The Carthaginians were also known as the Punic people, and the Punic Wars are some of the most famous in Rome's history. Ooh, thank you all for listening. I do love that I got to tell this story today. Badass women in history and mythology. What a thrill. And again, don't you worry about what will happen to Dido. She definitely isn't one of the most tragic characters in mythology. No siree. Next week, I'll be re-releasing an old episode. I haven't decided which yet, but stay tuned on my Twitter because I'm going to ask you guys what you want. This is because I'll be at Fan Expo, and frankly, I don't have time to prepare this episode, the Fan Expo live episode, and another one for next week and record it and edit it and oh lord, nope, I work every day. Such is life. I'll pick a good one that I think you'll all enjoy listening to again. But after that, well, I am thrilled to share a little personal bit. I'm taking a vacation from work, and in that time, I hope to be able to prepare a bunch of Patreon content, along with some deeper episodes that require more time than I normally have during my work week. I also hope to finalize my book and start sending it out to agents, something I've been wanting to do for an actual decade. Anyway, it requires me not having a day job to get all this stuff done, so just taking a little break to bring you better and so much more content, which I just honestly can't wait to do. Anyway, that's just me being excited about life things, but thank you for listening and maybe being excited with me. I really hope to see lots of you at Fan Expo this weekend. It's such a great opportunity to chat with whoever's able to make it. I'm actually kind of excited for this live show, even if I am still quite scared and quite anxious. One thing, though, I've forgotten to mention is that I'll also be doing a contest where you can win some free books that were generously donated by the great people over at DK Publishing. They're all about mythology, and you can win them by just stopping by and hanging out with me. Plus, I get to be on panels talking about podcasting, which is just super cool because whoever thought that'd be a thing? Anyway, you're the best. Please rate, review, subscribe. You know the deal. I am Liv. I truly love this shit.